All right, so welcome back to another video. Um, this one is about interracial dating as it pertains to the quote unquote black community. Now, this is actually a video that when the idea came up to me, I was like, yeah, you know what, I actually should speak on that for many reasons. Now, one, if you understand what the movement is, which is America's original people, who are the quote unquote black people in the United States, the people of captivity, which others like Tariq Nasheed accept the moniker of FBA, Foundational Black Americans. These are all interchangeable names. Now, I don't like the FBA one because obviously I do not subscribe to being called black because I've made it super clear in videos before. Just watch any of the other videos or listen to any of my other podcasts, and I go into great length about why I do not subscribe to being called black and why you should not subscribe to being called black, and then by extension not call anybody white. But anyway, I digress. So now, obviously, if you're part of the movement or if you're interested in the movement, you don't know much about the movement, you may assume that, well, obviously you shouldn't be in an interracial relationship if you're trying to uplift the quote unquote black community. But so on this channel, what we do is we stray away from the common worn out path, which is the easy path, the low hanging fruit path, the 2-dimensional path. And we go down the road less traveled, which is the 3rd-dimensional path. So with that being said, for those of you who say, yeah, well, if you're all for the quote unquote movement, the black movement or whatever, or empowering quote unquote black people, then you should have a black man or a black woman, right? So before I start to explain my reasons why behind that, let me explain to you that response in itself is an emotional response, because we have to think on a grander scale, from a different perspective. Now, first, let's talk about seedline. Seedline is obviously we all have relatives, right? We all have a father, whether that person is around or not. We all, it took a man and a woman to bring you here. So the seed line travels through the father. So whoever you are, male or female, your father gave forth a seed that was harvested in the egg of your mother. And if you are a male, you have seeds as well, and it will continue through you, right? Just like as your last name goes. The seed line follows through the male because the male carries the seed. Very simple. Most people don't understand that, and then others don't want to try to understand it. Especially a lot of the simps out there, they don't want to try to understand it. They just want to be like, oh man, that black woman is God, my black queen, my black beautiful Nubian goddess, and all this crazy ass simp shit. Those dudes crack me up, man. But nah, so like I said, it travels through the male. So if you have a quote unquote black man and a quote unquote, let's just say white woman, but it could be any woman. It could be freaking Southeast Asian, Indian, a bitch from Antarctica. You know what I'm saying? Like it really don't make a difference. Now, if this black man impregnates this woman from outside the quote unquote race, the baby is going to be what the father is, which is quote unquote black. because he carries the seed, and that's the seed line. Now, if it was inverse and it was a quote unquote black woman and a man from quote unquote a white man from Iceland, that baby would be an Icelander because the father seed line comes from Iceland, and that's the seed that he put inside of that woman. All right, I hope you're all with me with that. This is pretty basic stuff. So, for a black man, quote unquote black man, to impregnate any woman, that is not a bad thing for the quote unquote black race, because that is still a black seed. Now it's being harvested in a different egg, but the seed itself is still that of the father. So if you have a well, before I even get into that, because now that I laid the foundation down, Dr. Umar Johnson is going to say some things about why he doesn't believe that people should take part in interracial relationships. And I'm just going to pretty much play what he has to say, and then I'm going to chime in with some corrections.
Number one, marriage is a financial institution. Marriage is a financial institution.
So, yes, marriage is a financial institution. I was just telling my younger cousin this the other day. When you marry somebody, it's literally like if you could just picture company A and company B merging, and company A's assets and company B's assets becoming the assets of company AB. That's what marriage is. It's not, don't get me wrong. You know, in this day and age, everyone's like, oh, the love, marriage for love, love, love. No, marriage is about money. Okay. So and when you get a divorce, what's it about? They're talking about money. They're not talking about who's going to get the honeymoon tapes, at divorce proceedings. That's not what's going on. So yeah, marriage is about money. So yes, he is correct when he says marriage is about money. But I'm going to let him continue on why he's using that as a reason why there shouldn't be interracial mingling.
Let me say that one more time. Marriage is a financial institution. Yes, it is other things also, but it is fundamentally and primarily a financial institution. If you do not believe me, then all you have to do is talk to a lot of unmarried black women and discuss why many of them are not married. It doesn't mean I agree with their reasons for not being married, but clearly finding a partner who is financial.
Well, I don't even know if I like that example that he brought up about asking single black women why they're not married. They're not married because they can't find a goddamn man, because half of them are batshit crazy. Okay, and then the other half of them want to compete with every freaking black man that they see. And then the other ones are on freaking government assistance, and they can't get married because if they do, they're gonna have to come off the assistance. So, and I'm not sitting here trying to put down the black woman, but I get sick and tired of these dudes trying to freaking put this battery in the back of these black women. Man, don't get me wrong, the black women are beautiful and great. Do not get me wrong. I love black women. I know that black women have this big ass battery put in their back, and it actually hurts the community. Okay, but I'll go into that in a different video.
Equally yoked with you is a very pressing issue for a lot of sisters, as well as well-to-do brothers as well. Also, you can go into any divorce court in America, across the world. When people go through divorce, they are not talking about love. They are not talking about...
Yeah, I just said that. Hold on. Let me...
assets of that marriage business contract. Do you understand? So it's fundamentally financial. My problem is women will live longer than men. On average, women will live longer than men. Most of
That's true.
us will be exceeded in years by our wives. When you die, if you're married to a Arab, East Indian, Anglo-Saxon, Chinese, Latino, and when I say Latino, I'm talking about non-African Latinos. I'm not talking about my Afro-Latino brothers and sisters. Shout out to my Afro-Ricans, my Afro-Cubans, and all my Latino Africans who identify with the race. I'm not talking about them. But black men, when you die, your wealth and your assets will go to that woman. And in going to that woman, your wealth and your assets go to that woman's community. Why? Because that white woman is not going to shop black.
Okay, so now here's that two-dimensional versus three-dimensional, and that difference in perspective. Okay, because if you don't know any better, you listen to him and say, "Damn, well, that's right. That makes sense." You know, the wife gets the assets, and then that's it, right? Wrong. Because if you're a man with any kind of forethought, you know that everything that you worked for, that you built your estate and all your assets, you're doing it to pass down to your son. That's why you're doing it. You know, well, you're doing it for the family, but you know that your son is going to carry on the torch after your days are up. So no, it's not going to the woman. She'll be able to live off of it like she did when you were the steward, and then once you go on and pass, she will continue to live how she lived with your son going on as the steward, and then the cycle repeats itself. And it doesn't take much to see that. For instance, if you look at any of the royal families of antiquity, you'll see that that's pretty much how it went down. You know, something happened to the king, then the next in line came up, and you know, it wasn't like, oh well, now, you know, since the king died and the queen was the Duchess of Portugal, now Portugal's gonna get everything. No, don't get me wrong. Sometimes that did happen. But for the most part, they have the second person in line, and that second person in line is going to continue that reign. And now the times that it did happen that I can think of off the top of my head, where the queen actually, like, she was just by herself, and then you know, the royal family just kind of just stayed in whatever country. I think it actually was Spain. I think it was Isabel. Ah, man, don't quote me on that. I'm a little fuzzy on that one right now. But anyway, I digress. So no, when you do that, you don't freaking, you're not acquiring all these assets and stuff, and you're saying, "Oh, I'm gonna pass this down to my wife." Like, no, that's not how it works. You pass it down to your fucking son. So again, it takes a ruling class mentality to understand that. But most of us don't have that, a ruling class mentality, meaning we don't think on that level, you know, or to have anything to even be able to pass down to people, you know. So, but we have to start, you know, we have to start thinking like that, and then when we do, think when people say stuff like what he just said, you'll be like, wait, what the fuck are you talking about? Why the fuck would they go to like, for instance, my wife is Caucasian, right? And we're in the process of building something for our kids. We have one on the way, and then, you know, God willing, we'll be able to have more. But you know, we're in the process of building something now. So if anything happens to me, like, no, it goes to my son. You know, that's period. And whether I have two girls and one boy, like, no, that's it. The son will be the steward. He will be the patriarch at that point, and he will carry on the lineage through the seed line. It's very simple. It's just very simple stuff right here.
That white woman is not going to buy black with your black dollar.
See, we don't have to worry about that, Umar, because your son is going to be what you are, because that's the seed. So he'll be quote unquote black, and you would have taught him already everything. So we don't have to worry about the woman, because then if you're relying on the woman for anything, you're pretty much fucked. So and I don't mean that in a brash way. I'm just saying, if you're relying on a woman for anything at that point, to that magnitude, then you're pretty much fucked, because she's gonna do what she wants to do with the money. You know what I'm saying? Period. So moving on.
Leave her $1 million life insurance policy. You leave her $3 million in business assets. Do you think she's going to recycle that money through the black community? Do you think she's going to take your money?
And it's funny, he's saying all this, right? But there's a whole bunch of quote unquote black women out there that will do the same thing that he's saying a white woman will do. And that's what cracks me up about this crap. It's like, dude, are you serious? We have freaking quote unquote black women out here right now that don't put any money back into the black community. And a lot of these women are quote unquote educated, that have degrees and, by today's metrics would be considered highly successful. And they don't contribute anything back to the black community. So I don't understand how he can feel like that's an aha, like, the white woman isn't going to reinvest in the community. I don't see the black woman doing that either. I don't see anyone doing that either, for that matter. I don't see anyone reinvesting into the black community, from the community, or in general, actually.
After you die and go buy black with her ex-husband's, her deceased husband's black dollar? Hell no. She's going to take your money and she's going to spend it at white stores, white shops, white malls.
So is the black woman.
Okay, she's going to invest in white business franchises with the black man's money. So let me ask you a question. If you are in a war, let's say you are in a war, armed combat with the opposition, and one of your soldiers took all of his money.
So I really don't like when people hyperbolize analogies. Like all right, war, that's an analogy that you want to use regarding interracial dating. War is about life and death. So I don't understand why people like to overdo their hyperbole, man. Well, actually, the hyperbole itself is already like out there, but then to like take it to a whole other goddamn level, like, come on, man. Like, we're talking about interracial dating, and you're analogizing that to war.
Over to the others.
And why is he always in a fucking hotel room? Like, when is he ever gonna be at home in his study? You know what I'm saying, or his studio, or his basement, or just, what I'm saying, just like somewhere. Like, when I do my videos, I mean, y'all can't see where I'm at, because I don't really. Well, actually, we're currently moving, so everything's a mess right now anyway. But it's just easier for me to do the videos pure audio. Maybe one day in the future I'll start doing videos where you guys can see me, but I don't think that's really important right now. I think the true message is in the words that I'm speaking. So I like to keep it real simple and real basic. But anyway, yeah, this thing is always in a goddamn hotel room. Like, bro, like, what are you doing? Like, do you have a home? Do you have an office? You got money because you've been stealing money from the school, or at least you've been receiving money from the school, and there ain't no school up and running. So I don't understand, And then you always in these hotel rooms. But anyway, let's get back to the point.
Side and gave it to the competing army to strengthen their military position. What would you call that, brother? What would you call that soldier who takes all of his money over to the other side? He gives his money to the enemy.
So, again, this is a very, very poor analogy, because you're talking about life and death in war. Number one, right? And number two, like I said, you're not giving it to your wife. People aren't freaking making it their life's goal to acquire as many assets as possible, so that they could just give it to their fucking wife. It's for the kids, mainly for the son. The son is supposed to continue on, okay? Continue on the journey. It's very simple. That's what ruling class people do. That's what successful people do. This is very simple stuff, man. You're talking about passing shit on to your fucking wife. That's not how it works. That's not what anyone fucking is out here doing, man. Like, you kidding me? Like, I'm not doing this so I could, quote unquote, die 20 years before my wife does, and then she could get everything I fucking worked for. No. That's not how it goes, man. That's not how it goes. And by that time, she should already be living well off of her retirement and our retirement fund. So she shouldn't even need the fucking anything else. Everything else is gonna be for the kids. The estate is for the kids.
So that the enemy can strengthen his position against you. What do you call him? You know what you call him? You call him traitor. That's what you call him. He would be guilty of sedition. He would be guilty of treason. Is there any other definition you can use to describe a soldier who takes all of his assets and gives it to the enemy so the enemy can...
Yeah, no, and what he's saying, his example, like, yeah, if a soldier at war did what he's saying, then yes, that is sedition, and that is treacherous. But that's not what this is about. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, Umar.
Strengthen his position against his own army. You call him a traitor. So from a financial standpoint, my brother, you have to recognize that what you are doing is you are investing in the power and maintenance of white supremacy.
No, you're not. And all this white supremacy stuff, and this is where people lose me a lot. Now, people may think that I talk a lot about race and stuff like that. I don't. I really don't. If you actually understand what I'm saying in most of my videos, it's not about race. It's just mainly I'm talking to a group of people about how to do better as a group. Race comes into play because I use it as backdrops to point out how often people talk about this shit and how much energy gets how much energy gets used on this, and for no reason. Like, this guy is right now talking about white supremacists, and if you date interracial, then you're helping out white supremacists. Like really?
Dating or being married to a white woman. Let me say it again. Let me say this again. You are investing in the strength, power, and extension of the European Empire. That's what you're doing.
You're investing in the extinction? Hold on, let me...
Yes.
Hold on. I think this nigga might have misspoke. Because he's talking a whole bunch of bullshit. That's probably why he fucking misspoke.
Power and extension.
I think he said extinction.
Of the European Empire. That's what you're doing. Yes.
All right. Umar,
so that's the first reason.
That's
financial betrayal to marry or date outside of your race.
All right. So his first reason, I think he said there's a list of 5 that he has. The first reason is financial, and I just shot that down. That's not how it goes. All right. That's literally not how it goes. That's not how successful family lineage is passed down. So next.
Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, it is psychologically damaging to black female children.
What the fuck is he talking about? It's psychologically damaging to little black girls? How is it psychologically damaging to little black girls? Huh? I gotta hear this.
It is psychologically damaging to our little girls to see a black man hugged up with, loved up with, committed to, a woman outside of his race.
Okay, so hold on. Let me just stop right there. It's damaging our little black girls to see a black man with a quote unquote white woman. So let me just flip it. And it's not damaging if a little black girl sees a black woman with a white man? Or it's not damaging to the little black boy? With that same logic, it's not damaging to the little black boy to see a white woman with a black woman with a white man? Or even going further with that same logic, it's not psychologically damaging to any race, to any little little Chinese boy to see a freaking his Chinese mother with a freaking quote unquote Irish man. Like what are you talking about? How is that? Where did you get the? See, this is how we know you're not a goddamn doctor. What the fuck are you talking about, man? Like how if it's damaging to one, then it has to be damaging to all. It has to be because there's nothing like there's nothing specific about the little black girl. Out of every other race of little girls to see an interracial relationship. Because if it's damaging to her, then it would have to be damaging to every race, the little girls in that race, and on the other side, the little boys. So I don't know what he's trying to accomplish by that. What was he saying?
When her mother cannot even find a suitable partner.
Hold on. Here we go with the simp shit again. If her mother can't find a suitable partner, that sounds like her mother has a fucking problem, right? So how about we just address that, and not try to put it on a quote unquote black man? Okay, let's address that. And now you're trying to put it the quote unquote psychological problems that the little black girl's gonna have on the black man because the mother's fucking batshit crazy. Come on, man.
And then a lot of you black men who date outside of your race. You don't even speak to black women when you see them when you're with your non-African queen.
All right, first of all, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Now, I'm speaking from experience. I've never done that. I don't know anyone who has. But, it's funny because Umar's talking all this shit, and I just realized something. This nigga got I'm pretty sure he was married. The woman that he had his kid with, I'm pretty sure he married her. And I'm pretty sure Umar has a daughter, at least one daughter. I know he has kids. I think he has at least two kids. But I think he has at least one daughter, or he might have two. And like as I just said before, the nigga's always in the hotel room. I always see this nigga in the hotel room. Never see this nigga at home in his study or in his home office doing a video. Never do I ever see that. I never see him at home. I never see his kids just walk in and him say, "Oh hey, say hi to everybody that I'm talking to." And I never see that. So I don't know where this nigga comes from with thinking that he could just get on this fucking live or whatever the fuck he did this on with his tight ass fucking fitted on in his fucking dingy ass hotel room. Like, nigga, where the fuck is your kids at? Where the fuck is your little black girl, huh? Like answer me that, nigga.
Okay? You don't even speak to black women when you are with your white woman. You go out of your way to ignore sisters, many of you do. Part of you do this out of guilt. Part of you do this out of shame. And some of you do this because you want to reassure your white woman that she's more important than any black woman. Okay?
This thing got issues, man. He got issues because, again, I don't know. I've never heard of that, never seen that at all. All right? What it sounds like to me is that Umar is doing a lot of pandering to the quote-unquote liberal black female, which isn't helping them at all. You want to sit here and, blame the quote-unquote black man for them not having a man? That ain't helping them. That ain't helping them take a look in the fucking mirror and make the changes that need to be made, in them. And I'm not saying that I'm looking for the woman to freaking save the black community. because I'm not. That can only come through the man. So the black man has to get his shit together. But I can say that some are, by refusing to freaking, be with these women who are going to try to fucking abuse them mentally, physically, emotionally. These women are fucking crazy. Like I said, a lot of them are overly competitive when it comes to things, dealing with the quote unquote black man. And they don't look at the quote unquote black man with it and any kind of authority at all. They look at themselves as the authority over the quote unquote black man. But hold on, this is gonna be it for part one. I'm finished the rest of this on part two.